Instagram, talking about making your first $1 million. This is Tai Lopez. I got a whiteboard. Now, let me tell you where this topic came from. I literally did a poll and I said, what's everybody's goal, financial goal? And it was pretty interesting because I thought people's first goal would be like to make their first 100 grand. The world's changed. People are way more ambitious now. It cracks me up. Like I remember I started doing business training in like 2012 or 2013. I was one of the first people doing it. Everybody thought it was a scam and like, people still think that, but it's less so, right? People back then, when I told people you didn't have to go to college to learn business, everybody was like, Ty's a scam. And now nobody like, now Peter Thiel's paying people 100 grand not to go to college. And that's where Vitalik Buterin came from that built Ethereum. He got paid not to go to college by a billionaire. So now it's not what I was teaching. Hold on, shit. Oh, I know what's up, sorry. Now what I was teaching isn't so crazy anymore. So how do you make your first million? When I did a poll, that is the number that the average person that follows me said was like their minimum goal, which I think is a little crazy that that's your minimum goal, but okay, to each their own. Maybe with inflation now, $1 million isn't a lot of money anymore. So first question is it even realistic that you can make your first $1 million? Okay, is it even like remotely possible? And well, let me put it to you this way. There's that saying, to the victor goes the spoils. Have you ever heard that saying? It's like an old like Roman Empire. So basically means most people are pessimists and they're not going to get the spoils. To the victor, and in the case of the modern world, the victors are people who actually don't listen to the naysayers. A lot of people make $1 million a year now. It's not as crazy as you think. The majority of the world doesn't. But I'm going to give you a formula and you just tell me if you're a skeptical person, just like watch this. Tell me if you think this is realistic or not, okay? And I'll draw it. For some of you, if you're watching on a reverse camera, this is gonna be reverse, so don't lose your mind here and get all confused. So this is what I do. I figured out how to make $1 million a year, I don't know, more than 10 years ago. I can't remember, maybe, trying to think what year I made my first $1 million. A lot more than 10 years ago. So now, my goal was get to 10 million. I got to 10 million, I don't know, more than 7 or 8 years ago. And then I wanted to figure out how to get to 100 million. And this is just revenue, right? And I figured out how to get to 100 million. And now I'm the CEO of Retail E-commerce Ventures and the co-founder. We own a lot of big brands, e-commerce brands, and on track this year to do over 850 million in revenue this year, conservatively. So I've seen all the different stages, but I also remember wondering if I could make my first 100,000. I really remember that. So this is what I would do if you're watching and you're a skeptical person and you want to know if you can make $1 million. I would start with a calculator. Okay, you pull out your calculator right here. I put this as my first app on my phone, by the way. Remember, money, the language of money is numbers. And a lot of people forget that. It's kind of like going to China, right? And not speaking Chinese. You're not going to have a full experience. A lot of people talk about money, but they use words. Words are pretty irrelevant. So $1 million. First thing I would try to do is they call it chunk it, so it doesn't look painful. I divide it by 12 months. There's $83,000 a month you need to make to do $1 million a year. Now, the question is, who's the most likely to pay you $83,000 a month? Let me just take questions here, Q&A. Who do you think is the most likely set of customers that'll pay you $83,000 a year? Just guess. Anybody? $1 billion brand, somebody said. Somebody just put the word customers. But like, be specific. Somebody said big corporation. Okay. Who else? Wholesaling real estate. Somebody said 83 individual people paying you $1,000 each. Okay, I'll tell you this. This is what I think. The people with the demographic with the most money are older business owners. So people over 40 years old have the most money in the world. In fact, people over 70 years old have the most wealth in the world. It's pretty strongly correlated with age. So if I'm trying to make $1 million a year, which is $83,000 a month, I'm targeting people who own, so older people, at least 40, if not 50s or 60s. And number two, what demographic has the most money? Business owners have the most money. Business owners have a hell of a lot more money than, say, people who have corporate jobs. So I'm not targeting individuals. And like some people say, I mean, when I was 10 years old, I like mowed people's lawns. Okay, mowing people's lawns is great when you're 10 years old, but I'm going after business owners. But what subset of business owners am I going after? And I'm going after business owners that one customer is very valuable to them. So I'm not necessarily going to go after a 7-Eleven and say, I'm going to provide a service for you. Okay, 7-Eleven, that incremental revenue from one customer walking in the door might be like $1 or $2 of contribution margin, if you know what contribution margin is. Okay, it's like $1. They're not gonna be able to pay you a lot of money. So what about cosmetic surgeons? What about dentists? What about doctors? What about lawyers? One lawyer gaining a customer, they can make $1 million off one legal client. Cosmetic surgeons, they're doing stuff for $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. Most of that's profit, probably 80% profit margins. So the incremental, you call this the contribution margin or kind of your net margins for those businesses are very high. So if you bring them customers, they'll pay you a hell of a lot of money. Okay. Now I started teaching this in 2016. I built this program called SMMA. It went like globally viral. It was pretty huge. And I remember the first person who made $1 million. It was this guy named Jaden, and he got his first customer to pay him for a whole year up front, and he got $20,000 up front, and he didn't even have a bank account. His first question for me was like, Tai, how do I deposit this $20,000 check? It's pretty interesting. He was like 19 years old, living in his dad's basement. It was kind of like this hilarious, stereotypical basement story, right? Now, here's the thing though, the world has changed. What I was teaching back in social media marketing agency, it's kind of changed a lot. What's really working now? TikTok, number 1. YouTube Shorts, number 2. Instagram Reels, probably number 3. Okay? So what you want to do is go out. So this is $1 million. That's $83,000 a month. How many customers you want high value? Older in certain professions. Okay? They need to be older in certain professions. And a value of one customer for them has to be high. It's called the LTV. Long-term value of a customer needs to be high for them. Now, on top of that, how many customers do you need? This is where you pull out the calculator again, and you go $83,000 a month. How many realistic customers could a one person handle? My experience, 30 customers you could handle. You would probably need a few employees helping you, but an assistant, but 30 is realistic. There's 30 days in a month, 30 people. So 83,000 times 30 is $2,700. You need to charge them $2,800 a month. That is a realistic price. For a dentist or a doctor to hire a full-time marketing person is going to cost them, a good person's $10,000 to $15,000 a month. If you can do it part-time for them as a freelancer for $2,800 a month, that is a good discount for them. It's an amazing discount, okay? Someone says, is this backwards because it's no, I'm just doing it so I can see the comments. So some of you have to use your IQ and understand what I'm saying. $1 million is $83,000 a month. If you go after older clientele in the right professions who have high customer LTV, they need to pay you $2,800 a month. 30 customers like that is $1 million a year, okay? Now, what should you do for them? It's pretty simple. Did you know how, let me show you YouTube Shorts. This is insane. YouTube Shorts. YouTube is gonna go hardcore after TikTok, just so you all know. YouTube's going hardcore after TikTok, okay? Here's some YouTubes, and this isn't even, you can repost and repurpose other people's content. Here's one that I did. It has 90 million views, 7.7 million likes, and 22,000 comments in the last 2 months. It probably brought me about 50,000 followers to my channel from one. Here's another one, 39 million views. You can see this on my Tai Lopez channel. Okay, this one's 29 million views. So if you catch new trends, like, let's say, YouTube Shorts, and you have a customer paying you $2,800 a month, they're gonna be blown away when you just start posting content for them, their own content or repurposed content, and their channel starts to grow like 1 to 20,000 customers. Somebody said TikTok isn't paying well. Yeah, I don't think everybody should be trying to make their money by being a social media influencer. Why not leverage social media for dentists, doctors, lawyers, even some restaurants, the right restaurant it can work for, consultants, companies that are, for example, like my friend has like a $10 million a year business where he does landscaping for large corporations. A customer for him is worth like 10, 20 grand a year. So if you can bring him one customer a month and he's paying you $2,800 a month, he's doing this all day. 30 customers and you make $1 million a year. And if you want to do all the work yourself, it's high margins. So I built a system. In fact, I was just, before I went live, I was recording the system. And just like some simple scripts of how you get customers. Like simple script of how you get customers. You basically DM them on Instagram and you send them, you just start a conversation. Then I'll show you how to send them a Loom video, like a screen recording of their website and their social media, where you just point out everything that's wrong with it and give them some free advice. Like, oh, I would do this. And oh, you should do more YouTube shorts. Most people ain't gonna do it themselves. They're gonna pay you. For every 10 people that you tell how to do it and give them free advice, like 2 are gonna wanna do it themselves, 80-20 rule, and the other 8 are gonna become potential customers. And in my system, I'm gonna teach you how to not charge too little. The number one mistake that people make is they literally start doing it for like $100 a month or 300 because they're insecure in themselves. Like, don't be insecure. Do not be insecure. All right? Come strong. I don't care if you're 18 years old. I don't care if you live in, Bangladesh or you live in Saskatchewan, Canada. This works also everywhere. And if you live, I taught this to someone, a girl, she's on I have all these testimonial videos. I remember she flew all the way. I was speaking at Grant Cardone's 10X conference. I spoke to 32,000 people were on stage. It was at the Coliseum in Miami. And she flew all the way there. She paid for her ticket. And she's like, Tai, I'm making like $4,000 to $5,000 a month. This is in India. She said, I went to school to become a lawyer. And my starting pay out of law school in India is about $2,000 a month. She's like, I'm making $5,000 a month. $5,000 a month in India. That's like making $25,000 in America. So for each of you, like, I really want to challenge you. And the reason I'm doing this live, this is a little different live. Sometimes I just do a live and I talk about, different subjects and people ask me all kinds of questions. Most important thing you can do is start chasing that goal. And you may not hit making $1 million a year, but why not chase that goal? It's not as unrealistic as you think. It's not as unreal. You'd be surprised. I've probably had 300,000 people go through my different paid courses. It's crazy the people who end up winning. It's like unexpected. Like I have a guy, some of you remember Andrew. He was like on all my stories for 2000, probably the year of 2019. He came, he started an internship. I showed him all this stuff. He's making like $600,000 a year, $700,000 a year. Profit, by the way, profit. He went into sales, he's done social media marketing, and now he's using what he's learned, because you can flip these skills. He's doing real estate. He's got a diversified portfolio of income. But chase it. Chase it. And if you're 17 years old, chase it. Why not? It's not a big deal to chase stuff. You know, if you chase it and you have 30% of it, you're making $300,000 a year. $300,000 a year, just to put this in perspective, you're in the 99th percentile of the world. I'm Tommy V, says Tai, did your 67 steps in 2017, was broke, and now I'm nearly a millionaire. Awesome, man. Congrats. Who's been in any of my programs and used it to make money? At one point I had a lawyer kind of full-time verifying all my testimonials. I was probably getting 100 to 150 a month. It was crazy, big ones. Okay. What are some quick questions? Because I want to keep going into this. What are some more questions? Somebody said, Tai, I'm 24 years old. Can I make $10 million by age 28? I'm not as big of a fan of making these kind of goals, of saying by 30, I want to be a millionaire. I mean, whatever, do whatever you want. I don't like those age-based goals. I'd rather you chase a goal. It's fine to put time frames. I know a lot of people say, oh, goals are better if you put exact times on them. Go for that. I've tried that. I don't think that works as well as you think. What I think works is having a tangible goal you want to go towards, and don't put too strong of constraints on yourself time-wise. Tai, your accelerator program got me into crypto. Awesome. Yeah, I'll put a link to the course, but I just wanted to kind of do some free stuff here just to share. So I'm launching this test group. This is the first live stream I've done this. I've been busy for a couple years just building. I've been buying all kinds of stuff. If you Google Tai Lopez Wall Street Journal, I just took control of a publicly traded company. I just did a $32 million deal into something. So you can see what I'm doing just by Googling Tai Lopez Retail E-commerce Ventures. So I haven't had a test group in a couple years where I've taken a group of people and kind of work with. I'm going to do live workshops on this. I like this, what I did back in 2017, which was this 300 group where I take 300 people and like get them to $1 million a year or more. So I want to do that again. Now it's 2022, 2023. Like, this is the time to do this, Now, there's a lot of stuff online that teaches you. There's so many people now teaching you how to do stuff online. So you might wonder, why do you want to do it with me? The one thing I can tell you, I can give you insight not many other people can give you, just because, I have a different level of scale. And like I said, my holding company's on track to do over 800 million in revenue just this year. So most of the people teaching are probably doing $1 to $10 million. So if you want to learn from somebody that's I always say you should learn from somebody who's like 10 levels above you. A lot of people don't like that. It's funny. A lot of people make the mistake. It's kind of like if you want to learn basketball and you're this good, a lot of people they're intimidated unless they just want to learn from somebody that's this good. But that's dangerous. The person that seems to be this good, it might be luck, for example. It might be luck. So you might be learning from somebody, especially in business, who has no idea what they're doing. A lot of people that are teaching now, some of them just inherited their money and then they're teaching you. Like, I've seen that. I've seen people, I know the backstory of a lot of people. So a lot of people are learning from people or they're learning from people who don't have a business that actually creates revenue for themselves besides teaching you. Some people thought they're like, Tai, are you just making your money by teaching other people how to make money? Like, doing this is like 1% of my income, what I'm doing right here. It's like 1% of my revenue is this, just to be clear. This is not my main thing. Yeah, I just bought bodybuilding.com. So I buy companies that are doing more than $100 million of revenue. Like I bought Pure One's doing 1.7 billion when I bought it. I bought it in 2020. So that's kind of what I do now. And I can show you super advanced stuff, especially around this. So the most important thing that you're going to have to do is master the skill of getting customers. Once you have clients into your system, okay, you're trying to get 30 paying you $2,800. You'll be making $83,000 a month at that level. And it's doable. You're not going to do it in month one, but I'll show you. People who get into my test group, I'm going to go hardcore. You get your first customer in a month. I want your first customer paying you $2,800 a month this month. Okay? If not, I'll give you all your money back for being in the test group. Like, that's the goal. Get one. That once you get one, by the way, the more customers you get, it's easier to get more. Once you get your first one, you can literally take that first customer, get a testimonial from it, and use it to get your second customer. And then you can use it to get your third customer. Somebody said, do we all have to be plastic surgeons to be in the test group? No, you're misunderstanding the system. The system is you as an ordinary person are going to go out and get doctors to pay you to do their TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram growth for them. This is not a system where doctors are going to come into it. Sometimes it's like SMMA, somebody's asking, but it's a more advanced version of it. Okay. All right. Now I'm getting a lot of questions on many, many things. Let me do a quick question and answer on anything, and then I'm going to come back here. I'll come back to talking about this. So, a little bit of interesting news for those of you, because people were asking me to talk about investing and acquiring businesses. So for those of you who are watching who are a little more advanced, if you want to go to $10 million a year or 50 million or 100 million, you have to basically buy businesses. So how do you acquire companies? I'm almost done with a book called The Way of the Billionaire. So watch for it. It should be out this month. It should be out. And there's a 5-step system. So people don't understand. Elon Musk did not start Tesla, but he became the wealthiest man in the world from it. Okay. Ray A. Kroc did not start McDonald's. He bought it from the McDonald's brothers, but he became the richest man in America from it at the time. Bill Gates did not start or build the operating system called DOS for Microsoft. He bought it for $50,000, and he became the richest man in the world for 20 years straight. Bernard Arnault, who was the richest man in the world last year, he owns Louis Vuitton and other things that you may not know. He bought 60 companies to build. So there's 2 things you have to do. To get to your first million, you need to start a service business where you get rich business owners to pay you for something. In this case, to do their social media growth for them and marketing. Once you have your first million, the next step, in my opinion, and actually what the science and the statistics bear, is just start buying companies. I bought my first company. It was a nightclub business. It was started by some Colombian guys, and I took it over. That took me to $500,000 a year. Cash. It was a great business. Raleigh, North Carolina. I had all these clubs. Parazod, George's Garage. They're still there. Spice Street. Okay. But I bought that business. I didn't start it from scratch. In 2013, I bought a business, an online business, which I can show you all how to buy online businesses. That's not the purpose of today's call, because that's better if you're doing your first million. First, make your first million or get your first million of revenue, then start buying businesses. You can buy businesses earlier, but I wouldn't recommend it. It's more advanced. It's just more advanced, okay? So the first thing that I would do, you have to know where to look, and I would buy a small internet business. There's a website called Flippa that you can go on that has all these people trying to sell their business. Like, that's a pretty decent way to start. The key thing you got to be careful of is a lot of people, when you buy smaller businesses, a lot of the businesses are crappy. So you got to know 5 things to buy a company, okay? Like, I bought Radio Shack, I bought Steinmart, I bought Model Sporting Goods, I bought bodybuilding.com. Step number 1, identify. Where do you find businesses for sale? Number 2, valuation. How do you know how much to pay for them so you don't overpay? Number 3, you have to understand the negotiation process, because whatever they're asking is probably too much money. So you need to negotiate. Number 4, capitalization. How do you get the capital to buy a business? Sometimes you can buy business with seller finance, meaning you don't need that much cash yourself. I once bought a business for $10,000 up front. I paid $500,000 for the business. I bought it for $10,000 up front, and it made me $150,000 the first month net profit. So I put 10 grand in and pulled out 140,000 profit the first month. So that was a smaller internet business that was doing like 4 million a year. So you can buy these smaller businesses, and you can do them with seller financing if you know what you're doing. And then the last thing is operation. Once you own these businesses, how do you operate them correctly? And that's a whole nother skill, and not something that I was going to talk about on today's call. But somebody asked on the Zoom, because I'm live in different places, so I thought I would address that, question, since you had the question. Okay, other quick questions. I was wondering what happened to Tai. I've been so busy the last couple of years, I haven't done that much social media. I have been too busy to do that much social media. Sometimes people are like, oh, did you fall off? I'm like, what is the definition of fall off? I'm not a Kardashian. My goal is not to have the most views. To me, the views are a means to an end. You know what I'm saying? I never lose touch with what I actually want. I never woke up and was like, my goal is to be a social media influencer. Like, I don't have that kind of goal. What I have a goal is, how do I live the life that I want with nobody bothering me? And to the extent that social media helps me, I'll do social media. To the extent that I don't have to, I don't care. I have many, many other goals that have unrelated. A lot of people, like, super goal is like growth and all that. My advice to you, don't worry so much about being a social media influencer yourself, because everybody and their brother is now your competitor. Learn how to grow social media and get business owners to pay you. That's what I would do. Fuck that. If I was starting out now, like I started in 2013, probably 2012, it was easier to become a social media influencer because there wasn't that much competition. Now everybody's competing with you. So what I would do if I was starting out now, I would literally use the skills to grow other people's account and have them pay me for it. People pay you $100 grand to grow them an account. So that's kind of how I think about it. Question to Tai on Zoom here. Won't the business owner want to see proof that you can grow their social account? So I've got a certification system that you can show them you're certified in social growth. Now, your first customer, that's where I'm going to give you some simple scripts you can use, and you can overcome that objection. Look, sales is about everything in life. People will have objections. It's just the nature of the game. I've been doing sales so long, like, I just know. Think about, like, for those of you that are dating, you go on Tinder, you're talking to a woman, and it's like, do you want to go out to eat? Well, most women don't want to meet a stranger because half the dudes in the world are like Jeffrey Dahmer, right? So you're going to have the first objection from a woman is going to be, why should I meet you as a stranger? And if you're a persuasive person, you can showcase something about you that's interesting enough that will overcome their apprehension to meeting you. And so the same way if you want to make your first $1 million, somebody said at one point in the money making process, did you get fake hair? I like that people think my hair is fake. Does it look fake? It's pretty real, man. It's pretty real, but that's okay. A lot of dudes get hair plugs or something. My family, I got the Latin genes, man. My family doesn't lose their hair. My grandfather was like 90. He had full on hair. It's funny. It's funny how many I actually have this theory. I'm not sure what it is. Men pay more attention to looks than women. You know how men are like, oh, there's all these guys complaining online, like, oh, women only like alphas and women are for the street. There's a lot of anti-women stuff, which is fine. I understand both sides of the story. And kind of like these fraud feminist accounts and stuff. But dudes, I can tell you, men comment on my hair way more than women. It's insane. Like, men are really transfixed by another man's looks. It just is so funny. Women actually, I always tell, I had some friends that were ugly. Somebody said men are visual. Okay, great. Yes, I agree. But hopefully, are you all the men that comment on my hair, are you attracted to me? I mean, it's possible. I have a large, following of men who admire men's looks, apparently. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, women actually. I remember when I to do these house parties in Hollywood. I was, how your iPhone shows you memories from a long time ago. There was this memory of this party I did, and there was a dude there, and this guy was, I don't know what, the hottest girl in Hollywood liked this guy. He wasn't rich, okay? He was not tall. This guy was like 5'5". He was this Latin guy, and she was this hot blonde woman. I'll never forget. But the dude had charisma. It was pretty funny. So, anyway, men, yeah, focus on your personality. Focus on your business. You ain't gonna change your face much. And your hair ain't gonna matter that much. Okay, anyway. Yeah. Women like my hair more than men. Men do not like my hair long. The good news is, first rule of business is know your target market. And since I don't care if any of you dudes are attracted to me, I de-optimize. Basically, guys, here's my advice to you. When you go to the club, if your other dudes like how you looked, go change. If you come out of the room, the way your hair and clothes are, if all your guys are like, you look good, go change. Trust me. Get on FaceTime a girl, and be like, don't forget the target market here. Don't forget that a lot of men forget the target market. An interesting study, men really think that when they look tough in a picture, that it's like attractive, So it's like dudes will they're like Insta pictures are like mean mug. Like it doesn't, women, you look like Jeffrey Dahmer. When a woman sees a non-smiling dude who puffs out his chest that shows his muscles, first thought is this man could kill me. And that's why dudes that really showcase like only their gym pictures, if you're trying to get new women, it doesn't work that well. Very few. Des, do you see a lot of dudes' gym pictures and be like, I want to talk to this guy? Especially if you're like powerlifting. It's exactly. Des is like opposite. It basically is like, I can show you how I can body slam you women and throw you all around and harass you. That's how the subconscious works here. Anyway, somebody said, Tai, you're wrong about that bra. Okay. You're wrong about that bra. Somebody said, Tai, what's the formula for a cap rate? People still think I don't know about investing. I've deployed like $250 million in capital in the last year and a half. That's good. The key thing in life is when strong appear weak. I see who everybody follows and thinks that they know a lot about business. I'm like, I know the backstory, man. I know the backstory. You'd be surprised. It's often the wolf in sheep's clothing, The wolf in sheep's clothing. And the world's attracted to the wolf in sheep's clothing. Like, there's people who are really into politicians. Who are like, this politician, this guy, or this woman is the one that I follow. I'm like, you follow wolf in sheep's clothing, man. All right. Yeah, the loudest rarely translates to results. I like that. Okay, so let's go back to making first million. Somebody said thoughts on Kanye West. Look, man. I'm not fascinated by the loudest person. Hats off to him. He was like bankrupt a few years ago and he built a big empire. So it's good. It's good. I'm not a hater much. My basic thing is like, okay, if I think about Kanye West, how does that benefit me? Like, what's the point? What's the point? And there's things you can learn from Kanye. He knows how to stay in the news, just like the Kardashians. They're always in the news. That's a skill. To stay in the news, Conor McGregor is always in the news. That's a skill that some of you should learn. But going back to what I think is a higher way of living is not necessarily so reverse engineer what you want. There's a book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's one of the iconic, business books. It says start with the end in mind. So more important is to start by thinking about where do I want to be in 10 years? So like, do you want to be a Kardashian? Do you want to have paparazzi? Do you want to be Kanye West? Do you want to be feuding with your ex-wife about your children on Instagram? Like, if so, like, go for it. But for me, I'm like reverse engineering. It's like, what do I want out of life? It's like, okay, I like having a farm. I like having homes in different countries around the world. Like right now I'm in Denmark, go to Stockholm, London, Puerto Rico, Miami. I have my farms in the US, like Manhattan. So like that's the ending goal. I want to spend time with my friends. I want them to be able to come with me. I want to have enough money that I can do whatever I want. I want to invest in farmland because I think what's more important than going to Mars or electric cars is how we grow food. The number one pollutant in the world is not automobiles and transportation and jets. It's 17% of all pollution is from agriculture, how we grow food. If we don't grow enough food, this world, everybody thinks Putin's going to cause a World War III. No, food though, if food gets short, food and water get short, it's every time has triggered a war. Look at World War II. Hitler said, I need more room. Why did Japan bomb Pearl Harbor? They needed more room for their people. Japan's a small place. They were worried about resources. They didn't have enough wood. They didn't have enough rubber. They didn't have enough food. And so they attacked Southeast Asia so they could have more territory. Where did Adolf Hitler go? He went into Poland. Where did Putin go? Putin went into the Ukraine, one of the largest food producing and energy producing parts of the world. That's why wheat, I was just looking at like $9.20 a bushel last time I looked. So for me, I have a higher purpose of I buy farmland. I own about 1,300 acres of farmland that I've converted into organic farms. So like think, when you use this system, those of you who get in the test group, like think about why you want to be in the test group, because you're going to wake up sometimes, you're not going to want to make money. You're going to have annoying people around you, and you're going to have to get through, you have to have that higher purpose. And you can make up your own higher purpose. Don't just say the generic shit that everybody says, like have a legacy and, like, yes, some of it can be in common with other people, like family is a thing, right? Like I care about my family and that's important. You should care about family, but you should also have a purpose above and beyond your family. Maybe to help out your friends. I've had friends that were broke that I was able to help and change their life. But I also have a higher purpose beyond that for the greater good of mankind. I think the education system sucks. I think people should read more on their own. And I think people should build their own businesses. I do believe not everybody should be an entrepreneur. I think there's nothing wrong with being an intrapreneur where you work inside of a company. I have my home office. I have 400 or 500 people who work for me across all my holding company brands that I control. I have 8,000 people who work for me. And so I don't look down on them. It's fine to work for other people, but it could be a stage in your life and you can move into other things. And I think that over the next 10 years, with the rise of technology, more people can make an income from home and side income, even if it's just part-time, So, what's this comment? Do I think a nightclub bar in a smaller town is a good idea? Sure. I made my first, not quite $1 million a year, but $500,000 a year in nightclubs. It was fun, Somebody's asking about making 130. So let's talk about e-com for a second. So I set a goal for myself. It's like make my first 100 grand. I remember doing that. And then I want to make my first million. And then I was like, I wonder if I can make a million. So I made $1 million in a year. This is way more than 10 years ago. I forget, 15 years ago or something. And then I was like, I want to figure out how to make $1 million a month. And I remember making $1 million a month, right? That's 12 million a year revenue. Like, ooh, okay, at high margins too, profitable too. Then I was like, I wonder if I can make $1 million in a day. And I did that. I made $1 million in a day. And then I remember one time I was like, I wonder if I can make $1 million in an hour. And I made $1 million in an hour. And then my new goal, which I've never done, is make $1 million in a minute. I haven't done, and I guess if you're Elon Musk, you go from making $1 million in a minute to trying to make $1 million in a second. I think Jeff Bezos makes, I forget how many $1 million a minute, 3 million a minute or something. That's what Amazon does. Anyway, the headline for the Zoom people, not for the other people if you're watching, was talking about how I've been able to figure out how to do $100,000, $113,000 a day on e-com. And now I do a lot more than that in e-com. The average day is never as low as 113,000 in e-com now. Now in retail sales, it's more like, yeah, I mean, if you count the public companies that I control, it's in the millions per day. But that's not attainable for everybody on this call. And I would not even recommend that they have a goal. I'm kind of an adventurer, so I'm like trying to push the limit, man. Like I'm pushing the limits, and I don't think everybody needs to do that. And sometimes I'm like, I don't even know why I'm doing it. I ask my cousin sometimes, why am I even in business anymore? She's like, oh, you like adventure. Somebody said, bros, forearms are not nice, not gonna lie. That's from the farm, man. Got big forearms on the farm, milking cows. People don't know that side of me. For those of you who are just starting out, like, you can make it from anywhere, man. Somebody said more than $100,000 a day. Stop it. People don't believe. Like I said, everybody watching this, to the victors go the spoils. That's a very ancient saying. It basically means, well, in the modern, it meant a different thing when that was said. What it means now, the way I take it, I have a spin on what that's saying, to the victors go the spoils, is that it's just natural math and evolution. As the world gets larger, so you have 8 billion people, and let's say, theoretically, they say it's gonna go to 10 billion and then it'll start shrinking. Okay, so if it goes to 8 to 10 billion, what do you expect will happen? If you study evolution, what happens in systems like that? How does evolution work on a cellular level? There's millions of organisms in a petri dish. What's happening in that evolutionary dish? Well, outliers are being created. That's actually the theory of evolution. If you look at economics, it's the same thing. So right now, look at crypto. What happened in crypto? Everybody said crypto would make everything equal for the world, right? Remember that? Everything will be equal for everybody, and it'll be the decentralization of fiat. But actually what happened is crypto created a system where there's even more centralization of money. In crypto, like the top 10 wallets control most of the crypto wealth. It's insane. It's just wild. But that is a natural consequence of large populations of people. So what I was saying, this, for those of you watching, some people are like, no, an average person will never make $1 million a year. Other people, are like, yes, I can make 100. Some people are overly optimistic. What I would say is kind of two things. If you decide you're going to do something and you decide to reverse engineer it, you'd be surprised what you can do. But you have to reverse engineer it. So like I said, you want to make $1 million a year, you got to do this. 1 million in your little calculator on your iPhone, divided by 12, 83,000. If I build a little business where I'm doing social media for people, how many customers do I need paying me monthly? What's the most I could handle? Divided by 30. So I need to charge 30 people $2,800 a month. Then you have to reverse engineer. What service that could I provide that realistically, you can't mow grass for people. You can't clean for them. Nobody's gonna pay you, no, it's not $2,800 a day, it's $2,800 a month. Sorry if I said that. What service would a business owner pay you $2,800 for? And see how I'm reversing into it? Most people go forward, they go, I want $1 million and I'm just gonna take what I'm already doing and force it down the economy. It doesn't work. The economy will push back on you too hard. So that's why I said the best thing you can do is TikTok, YouTube Short, and Instagram Reel growth for business owners. They'll pay you $2,700 a month on a contract. Give them a little discount. Some of them will pay you 20 grand up front for the whole year. I've been teaching people, thousands of people, tens of thousands of people to do this since 2016. It's just the game changed now. Back in 2016, it was just do Facebook ads for them. It was pretty much just Facebook ads. There wasn't even, TikTok didn't even exist. There was Musical.ly and some other things that eventually merged in, right? But right now, the game's changed. So what I would do right now is I have a script. I would use the script. I would DM like 5 business owners a day. It's easy to find business owners on Instagram store. Let me show you this. You go to Instagram store right now. They got a tab now. It's this store tab. So this is what I see on the front. Let me look at this watch. So here's a G8 900 Hidden Coast Series watch for 119 pounds. Now, if I go here, I can see the account that owns it right here. 100 G-Shock UK, 114,000 followers or 112,000 followers. Now I can see, I bet you these guys suck at social media. Let's just look. Yep. Let's look at their most recent post. It got 393 likes and 0 comments. 0. This one, let's see, 2 comments. I would DM this G-Shock UK, you can do it, and I would DM, I'll give you a simple script. You basically say, hey, I noticed like you're not doing much video. Have you ever thought of doing video? And I'll take a trick from the pharmaceutical companies. Get a hot girl who's a friend of yours to do the DM for you. You'll get like 100% higher open rate. Pharmaceutical companies use good-looking people to go sell pharmaceuticals to doctors. You ever been in a doctor's office? They like have these, good-looking people come in and sell them on this medication. All right, so somebody said, yeah, they used to be a pharma rep. So you reach out to this watch company and you're basically like, there's a nice way of saying it. Don't say it this way. Here's their G-Shock video. It's got 1 comment. 1. I don't even know how these people are in business. Okay? So what I would do, if this was me, is reach out to G-Shock UK. I would record a free video for them. I'd go on their website. Let me actually go on their website. So I'd go on their website. I can show you how to do this. So here's their website, gshock.uk. So I go here, I bet you it's not a good website. Let me click on the homepage. Born from Fire. Okay, that's not gonna, look at the first picture. You can't even tell it's a watch. It's got this little slider. Ugh. All the watches are covered up with words. It's horrible. So I'm reaching out to these people and I'm sending them a nice explanation of what I can do from them. And then the next step is I'm jumping on a Zoom with them and showing them what I can do. My third step is I'm sending them a contract for $2,800 a month for the basic services. Now, not everybody's gonna say yes, but who cares? If you send a contract to 10 people, I'll give you that. Inside my test group, I'll give you the actual sample contracts. Now, if you live in a different country, you need to modify it, right? So if you live in the UK, but I would go here and I'd build this client, and you might be surprised. Somebody like this might be making, $30,000 a month, not off their social media though. They're probably they might be on Amazon or something. So I'm coming on here and I'm sending them a contract for $2,800. And every month I'd send out about 25 contracts. And if you do average, you'll have about a 10% close rate. So that's about 2 clients. If you do above average and you're really person really to go on the phone and really work for it, or fly to them, or go visit them in person if they're your office, you might be able to close 20%. That's 5 customers per month. Okay? 5 customers a month. If you're sending out, like I said, let's say 20, 25 contracts. And some people will convert 6 months later, 2 years later. Some people take a long time to convert. Okay? And then in 6 months, if you're converting 5 a month and you're doing a good job and you're not having much churn, you're looking at 30 customers paying you $2,800 a month. That is $1 million a year. This is the best way I know for anybody anywhere in the world, even if you're a teenager still, or you're 75 years old. There's advantages either way. I don't know. What does anybody here have a more tried and true way? Let's just do a debate. What's another business somebody could start? I think this has the highest chance of success. What's another thing people could do? Real estate. Okay. Making $1 million a year. Okay. Poultry farming, landscaping, copywriting, selling courses. Somebody said they made 35,000 USD on Minecraft. That's good. I'm talking about $1 million though. Merchant services, options trading. Whew. More people made money telling other people how to do option trading than actually people doing options trading. The people who made big money in options trading did insider trading or something illegal, just so you know. The George Soros type people. I'm not saying you can't make money in Forex, but y'all be careful. Y'all be careful, ladies and gentlemen. Financial services. Making $1 million a year is harder than you think in financial services. I started a financial services company. I was with Raymond James, LPL, was investment advisor, rep, did all that stuff. What else? Somebody made 50 Gs in 2 days options. I bet you didn't keep doing it though. Now, did you? Or you wouldn't be on my fucking call. If you could make 50 grand every 2 days, how much you make over the next 20 days? The next 100 days? A lot of people are like, I made 2 million option trading. The next day I lost 3 million. Somebody said OnlyFans. I know a woman making 60 grand with OnlyFans a month. And no nudity either. No nudity. Somebody said vegan business, affiliate marketing. Okay. I have a guy who was my first affiliate. He made $1 million a year. It's not common though. He was good. Subscription services. Managed 32 girls on OnlyFans, getting 50% split. Okay. Is that what you're doing right now? Why do you have long hair now? Most common thing. I now know the most controversial thing you can do. Grow long hair as a man. Nothing. It's funny, women love long hair, and the reason men don't have long hair, even though their target market is usually women, is because their other dude friends will make fun of them. Never be distracted by your non-target audience. Sometimes people are like, Tai, are you affected by haters? I'm like, all my haters are like 17-year-old fucking nerdy dudes. They are not my target market. My target market respects me. Investment bankers in Manhattan, like investor, all the market that I give a shit about. All the people that are TikTok 17-year-olds have no effect on me. Now, if a whole bunch of women start saying you're ugly, then you better do something about it. That's the target market. Guys are not the voice of reason on attracting the opposite sex, according to Speakeasy Dorian Williams. Women are why. That's why Dorian has so many friends who are women. A good idea. Okay. Do you choose? Are they ready, Des? Can you, here, have Adam come here. And is there a water bottle? Hold on a second. I'm trying to catch up on all the questions. Selling cocaine is the best way to make $1 million. My dad sold cocaine, but he ended up in prison. So that's the problem. You don't want to make $1 million and then lose it all. Oh, thank you. I don't know what's up with Instagram now. It's very, the comments, I think people can rewind while they watch it. So always the comments are from shit I said 15 minutes ago.
It's out of order.
Yeah. Instagram is strange. You all watch. YouTube is the one that's going to take over the world. YouTube is the sleeping giant. Now, it's already a giant, but everybody thinks TikTok is the one. Oh, man. YouTube is American, so there's going to be probably regulation eventually against TikTok, just from like a political enemy type US-Chinese dynamic. So YouTube, somebody said, then why are you on TikTok? Okay, Mr. Low IQ. Two things can be true at the same time. I can believe that YouTube is eventually going to overtake TikTok, yet still be on TikTok. I know that's complex for you, but two things can be true at the same time. Have I considered LASIK? Yes, I have LASIK. I don't even need these. Branding. Okay. Take us on a tour. Tai, you've taught me a lot over the years. Use every platform to your advantage. Absolutely. They're not mutually exclusive. Exactly. TikTok has a totalitarian approach that will bite itself. Yeah, totally. I got kicked off for a week, although they lifted the ban on TikTok. I don't even know what I said. They were like, it was just their algorithm catching you. It's just insane. Cynthia says, you look nice without the glasses. Okay, Cynthia, this is for you. Who is the lady in the background who said 5 minutes? Dez, you have a following. I'm afraid to show your face on here. Guys are going to stalk you. Instagram, long time since I've seen time levels. Amazon FBA. Just remember, everything's getting competition is rising. The barrier to entry is shrinking. Key is do things that are a little bit harder. Do stuff that not many people are going to do, and you'll have no competition for the rest of your life. Do things that are overly simple, and you'll be in big trouble. Somebody just wrote me. Carl Parnell. Wow, I just looked back at what I sent you 5 years ago. So wild. 7 figures he's making now. I'm back. Followed you the whole time. You're the man. Would love to work with you in some capacity someday. Anybody? Are you watching me, Carl? Sometimes as I'm live, people will start DMing me. I was reading, this is a cool testimonial that I got, I don't know, earlier today. This guy said, his name is The Real Daniel Morales on Instagram. In 2016, I completed Tai's SMMA course and had aspirations to own a digital marketing company. I cut my teeth in marketing for a wholesale printing company who, despite consistent growth, for 20 years, did not have a marketing department. The owner and close mentor agreed to let me begin implementing the things I had learned from Tai's course. I learned so much from the experience of building it. Now that company is moving into a 30,000 square foot, building, warehouse next month. Hi, Tai. Thanks for everything you did for me. I actually went to your first conference in Hollywood at the Roosevelt Hotel in 2015. Because of that conference, I started my own business, and now I'm making about $600,000 a year. Thank you. and this is that Edward Morales. You can DM him if you want to know if this is real. His question to me in DMs was, how can I scale from 60,000 to 100,000 a month? That's a good product. That's a good problem. How do you scale from 60 to 100? I need to write him back. Maybe he's on this call. Hi, Tai. Can't wait for the book. Thank you very much for everything. I really appreciate you. I started my digital marketing agency while I was watching SMMA in 67 steps, and I've scaled it to 7 figures, still going strong. Next target is how do I get to 8 figures in the next 12 months? So he's trying to get past 10 million. George the Kid Karafatis. I don't know if it's a Greek last name. I get so many of these people. And basically that 2016, 2017 program, I haven't had time in the last 3 years to really focus on it. And I feel bad for that because it's still such a good system. That's why I'm launching this test group now. And I'm like, look, very simple. I'm going to let a small test group into this, and I'm going to show you and give you specific scripts. I'm going to give you the sample contracts that you can use. I'm going to give you the DM sequence. Go out there. I'm going to do some live workshops too. And I want you to grab your first customer. I don't want you to, don't go lower than $2,800 a month. Follow the damn system. $2,800 a month. Focus on getting 30 customers. If you can't get 30 customers, get one, but keep the end in mind. The end in mind. The end in mind. You get 30 customers at $2,800 a month. That's $1 million a year. Somebody says super competitive. No, it's not. Not with YouTube shorts and stuff like that. It's not. It's more competitive than it was in 2016, but the pie is bigger. So yeah, there's more competitors, but more people are online. Like 10 years ago, if you had gone to a doctor's office and say you need to be doing more social content, like 1 out of 100 doctors would have believed you. Now like 80 out of doctors. So the pie has gotten bigger, Tai, can you confirm what Tony Montana claimed? First you get the money, then you get the power, and then you get the women. Yeah, although, scientifically it's probably, it's not that simple, but yes, Scarface is relatively accurate. I would say it can come in different orders too. So some people, first they get the women, which gives them power, and they translate the power into money. That's like a Hugh Hefner kind of person or something like that. Other people get the power first, and then that translates into money. You see that with politicians. They didn't make much money. Look at Obama. Obama left office worth like $1 million. He took the power of being president, and within a year, he had $100 million net worth. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know that the order is always correct. People oversimplify the world. So like, first you get money, that gives you power, then you get women. There's dudes that have great experiences with women when they don't have money and they don't have power. Look at the world. It's like not every dude's rich, not every dude's powerful. And some of those dudes got prettier girlfriend than the dude with money and power. You'd be surprised. Don't oversimplify stuff. Don't oversimplify complex social dynamics. Evolution, remember, evolution, there's a system, there's something called, basically the dynamic goes this way. Some people call it tit for tat or hawks and dove theory, but there's a dynamic that the more one thing happens, then it stops being true. They call it evolutionary stable systems. ESS is the complex term for it. ESS. So evolutionary stable systems basically means things revert back to stability. So if there's too many psychopaths in the human population, it's slowly but surely people who take vengeance on those psychopaths rise in society, and they kill the psychopaths over the last 10,000 years. And so the society will probably always have about 1% psychopaths, right? And when there's less than 1% psychopaths, society lets their guard down, and then the one psychopath gains more power. And so it moves back up. And that's what I said. These ESS systems, everything reverts to an ESS. Like what you're seeing right now happen politically, you had a rise of, let's say, super Republican right wing, and because it got out of stability, all of a sudden people became powerful who were on the flip side, who were more liberal, and now you have Joe Biden as president. And when things flip too far to the left, you'll get a groundswell, and you see that in, like, you have like feminists were really strong, and now you have a flippening to a whole bunch of people on social media talking about how unfair hyperfeminism is. So that evolutionary dynamic is very powerful, that ESS, evolutionary stable system. Society wants to revert to stability. There was a time when the world was becoming more atheist, and then the world swings to a rise in religiosity is actually the technical term, the scientific term. So, Ty, how would you go about marketing a jewelry business as a brand new business? YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts will give you the most reach right now. TikTok number 2. But YouTube Shorts is right now. YouTube is pushing the algorithm to try to beat TikTok at their game. And so they're throwing more money at it, and they're rewarding newer accounts quicker. That's actually what TikTok did to beat Instagram. Talk about evolutionary stable systems. Instagram was the king because they had this monopolistic effect. They get cocky. They start focusing on metaverse weird shit. And then the Chinese come in, take TikTok, and start to grow. Now TikTok will most likely get real cocky, start banning people, start doing this and that and other things, stop paying creators as much. It's just the nature of things to get lazy when you're at the top. And then guess what will happen? Next thing you'll have is the rise of YouTube, you know? So the rise, it's not just rise and fall, it's more pulling into balance, you know? Ty, what do you think of Rumble? That's like the competitor to YouTube. It's good. It's fine. I like in general, competitors will help you and I. It's not that good when there's one dominant force. When Instagram was the dominant force in social, that was bad for the world. It was good for Mark Zuckerberg, bad for the world. If TikTok becomes too powerful, that is bad for the world, good for the owners of TikTok. YouTube is doing a lot of censoring though. I'm not sure YouTube, you think YouTube is censoring more than other platforms? I don't think so. I don't think so. What's the best advertising value? So, I mean, Facebook ads still works. TikTok's starting to rise. But once again, start looking at social media through the lens of $2,700 a month. Every skill you build, here's the crazy thing. Once you build a skill, let's say it's growing somebody's YouTube, growing a doctor's YouTube channel. Think of the infinity scaling. So you get good at it for one doctor, the next doctor's easier to do. Once you have 30 doctors, the incremental difficulty of adding a new customer goes to like 0. The 30th customer will be simple. You see what I'm saying? The 30th customer will be simple. So here you are right now, you're not making $1 million a year, and you wanna chase that goal, even if you don't exactly hit $1 million. Chase it hard. Wake up right now. Wake up early in the morning and read. Study. I'm going to have a system. I started building the videos. I just recorded the first one. Go into those videos and start thinking about what I'm saying. Start DMing people. You can hide behind DM. If you're a shy person, you can do that without having to call anybody. 100 years ago, you had to call people, you know? Do that. And that skill is extremely scalable. You can be using that skill 10 years from now. And, you know, an interesting thing is that I found that what people forget about life, people get down on themselves and they're like, oh, life sucks and you know, nothing's working for me. It's because you haven't invested into an actual tangible skill. If I ask you, can you build me a funnel? No, I don't know about it. I don't know how to do that. Can you copyright? Do you know how to do headlines? No. Do you understand the 25 cognitive biases of persuasion? No. And I'm going, well, why should you be making money? Like, what is your entitlement level that you think you will make money without any tangible skill? And now, remember, the tangible skills have to be one the world's willing to reward. Now, if you know how to, you know, do underwater basket weaving, nobody will reward you for that. So you have to ask yourself, what's a skill that matches my personality that I can scale to infinity? And that's where wealth comes from. Taking one, like I know how to buy companies. I can buy a company a month. You know, during COVID, I was buying one company. I bought Dress Barn, a $700 million women's clothing line. That's its revenue when I bought it. I bought that in November 2019. November 1st, I closed the deal. Then I bought Franklin Mint, and I bought Linens and Things, 2 other brands. And then right after that, I bought Pier 1. And then I bought Modell's Sporting Goods. And then I bought Steinmart, and then I bought Radio Shack. It's a scalable skill. Then I bought Ralph and Russo, a luxury clothing line. And then I bought bodybuilding. I bought a company called Sight Hands, bodybuilding.com. Then I took control of a publicly traded company called Tuesday Morning. Became the executive chair of the board. So like, I have a skill that it doesn't stop being useful. Why didn't you buy GNC? GNC, the Chinese bought it. It's a complicated deal. So I'm not saying you have to have the skill I have. I'm just saying, what is the thing you know how to do? And there's a lot of people that say they know how to do marketing. I hire consultants all the time. Most of them suck. It's so rare to find somebody who is in marketing and actually knows how to do it. Like, they don't know how to do it. They don't know how to do it. So don't think the competition is mostly your will to stick with it. Your biggest enemy is you. I have met the enemy and he is I. Have you ever heard that famous saying? That's so when I say, can you make $1 million a year? I don't know, can you overcome the enemy that is you? You know? But I need the link thing. Can you overcome the enemy that is you? And to the extent you can do that, you'll be fine. You'll be fine for the rest of your life. To the extent you can't do that, somebody said your skill is value investing. The problem with value investing as a passive value investor, let's say you like Berkshire Hathaway model, it's not infinitely scalable unless you have the skill of attracting capital. Warren Buffett became wealthy, but because he knew how to build, he's a capitalist and knew how to attract capital at good terms. And he never stopped doing that from the 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. His skill is not being a value investor first. His first skill is attracting capital. His second skill is then deploying capital. So, let me put this test group link up because I've been talking for a while here. Maybe I'll type it on Instagram too so people can see it. It's just tailopez.com/start. If you want to be in this test group and you want me to actually, can you type it here? I don't know, what the hell? Yeah, but okay, you comment and then I'll pin it. Can you do it on TikTok too? Yeah. How do you find a mentor? It's a good question. I started out, you get what you can get at the beginning. The best mentors don't want to help you at the beginning. It's just the nature of the game. Okay, I'm gonna pin this here. So I'm pinning that comment, tailopez.com/start. Tell them to put it on the homepage of Tai Lopez. Okay. If you can't read this, figure it out backwards. I'm gonna test your IQ. So this is a 4-month program, tailopez.com/start. Okay, the goal is chase $1 million dream. Chase it. Not everybody's gonna make $1 million. It's not how the game, but chase it, damn it. Not everybody's gonna bench press 500 pounds. Guys, chase that damn goal. Chase it. I've gotten up to about 340 pounds bench press. Chase it. I'll probably never hit 500, but I'm gonna chase that fucking goal. Chase it, damn it. People are not ambitious enough in this world. Chase it. So this is for people who want to chase $1 million goal. How do you get 30 customers paying you $2,800 a month? It's simple. It's super simple. I've got 3 versions of it. The first version you can grab, I priced it low too. I priced it lower than SMMA just because I know the economy now, people are hurting financially. So you can get that. You can also add on the version where you get a live 3-hour workshop where we go deep into it. Okay. Somebody said, Tom, I'm 60. What the hell can you do now? If you're 60, you can do the same thing a 17-year-old can do, an 18-year-old can do. Don't focus on the age, man. The age ain't the game. Because now, if you live in Zimbabwe and you're 17 years old, you can acquire a customer by DMing them. I have a guy who works for me from China. He started working for me in 2006. I've never met the guy. He's been working for me for 16 years. I've been paying him. Okay? Nobody cares if you're good. I have an office in Lahore, Pakistan. I've never been to Lahore, Pakistan. I have an office in Egypt, Cairo, Egypt. Never been there. I want to go there. I just haven't had time. Somebody said, is college the move? College is the right thing to do if you want to have an intellectual or you want to be a doctor or a lawyer. Business, I don't see the point unless you want the networking. If you can get into Harvard, then college is worth it because you're getting the networking effect. You're networking with people whose dad's going to give them a business. It's a lot of people whose parents were wealthy. Not all of them. Okay. Tai, is the program for social media only? No, I mean, you can leverage this into many skills. You can also use this, what you're going to learn in tailopez.com/start. You can also use it for your own social media. I'm just going to show you how to scale. Like, it's insane. I'll show you. I've been doing YouTube shorts. Now, I've had a YouTube channel for a long time, but I mean, look at this. I can show you, I got 90 million views on this YouTube short. You can see it on my channel. 7.7 million likes, 22,000 comments 2 months ago. 39 billion views, 1.9. You know what's crazy? You can do this on your own channel and but don't focus so much on your own channel. Damn it, turn it into recurring revenue. Do it, get 10 doctors who need you in their life, become their head of e-commerce and marketing. They know that if they had to hire somebody to be 10 grand a month, they'll hire you. You can raise your rates. Eventually, you can be doing $5,000 a month. 10 doctors paying you $5,000 a month is $50,000 a month. That's what that guy that I was reading you his Instagram DM, he's doing 600,000. Now he's trying to figure out how to make 10 million. Like, this is within the reach of all kinds of people watching this right now. You know? Thoughts on people saying that reading is a waste of time? I mean, just look at the statistics. Just chase the people you want to be. So if your goal is to make a hell of a lot of money, Elon Musk read 2 books a day growing up. I met Elon Musk first time at a movie theater at the Grove. I asked him, how did you learn how to do SpaceX? And he said, I bought a whole bunch of books. And if you think I'm wrong, Google, how did Elon Musk learn to build SpaceX? He bought a whole bunch of books. Now, he had a science background, but that's what his answer is. So if you don't believe me, argue with Elon. Jeff Bezos, he likes books so much, he started a book business. That's how Amazon started. Like, it's bullshit. I mean, so just chase who you want. If you want to be like a pro soccer player, I bet you most pro soccer players don't read that many books. So chase who you want to be, whose results you want. So look at the people's results and chase them. You don't need my answer, you know. Do you want to be a Kardashian? You know, you need to do a lot of controversial stuff all the time for the next 10 years. And so if that's your goal, reverse engineer the Kardashians. By the way, that is what Kris Jenner, the parents, the mother of the Kardashians, she's a hustler. She reverse engineered how to become wealthy by creating a controversial family, and she follows that formula to the day. And you could do the same thing you want right now. But for me, I don't want that goal. Like, I don't, no disrespect to her. I don't want to have a whole bunch of kids and the way they become, you know, and I stick them in a scenario where they're constantly in the news for controversy. Like, that's not for me, but hey, it's for them. So I don't really emulate them, but I emulate people. I think there's a lot of value in being intelligent. And it's hard to be intelligent if you don't read a lot, because what you're saying is, no, I don't need what any scientist says. I fully understand biology. I mean, really? So you don't need any books and you'll understand the world. When people say you don't need books, I'm going, what about science? You're fucking telling me you don't need Albert Einstein if you want to understand, or Stephen Hawking. You don't need to read that. What did Stephen Hawking know? You can figure that all out on your own? Bullshit. Read A Brief History of Time. You think you're going to figure out black holes on your own? I doubt it. I'd rather read, you know? You think you'll make music better than Bach and Beethoven? Probably not. So you could just read their music. So that's my take on it. YouTube greater than books? It's different. It stimulates different part of your brain. Okay, Ty, what's your thoughts on Jake and Logan Paul? I went on Logan Paul's podcast and he's like, Ty, I was in your SMMA program. Cracks me up. A lot of people were in that program, man. A lot of people were in that program. So is YouTube greater than books? I don't think that way. I'm not always looking for what's greater, man. That's like saying, is bench press better than squats? Last I checked, they're not the same. They ain't the same, man. What should my Instagram page look like before contacting clients? Don't worry so much about it. If I was you, I would steal the trick from pharmaceutical companies. Get a hot friend of yours, a woman, to DM the doctors and lawyers for you. And just say hello. You know? Somebody said you don't need books to be rich, you need experience. That may be true, but life to me, I read not just to be rich. You know, I want to know. I'm reading a book called Exercised by Daniel Lieberman. He's a Harvard paleoanthropologist that studies the skeletal system of the human body, and he talks about how many steps you should walk per day. I want to know that. I'm not a paleoanthropologist, so I'm okay with reading what Lieberman says about that. So it may be true. I mean, making money is multifaceted. What makes you money? Lots of things make people money. Lots of things. How many steps? The average hunter-gatherer walks 22,000 steps when they're a man. It's 10 miles a day. Your skeleton's built to walk around 10,000 miles a day, 20,000 steps a day. They say 10,000, but that's kind of an understatement. That's an understatement. Okay, great. A whole bunch of you are getting in the system. So Stephanie Brinkley in Clinton, Michigan, or Clinton Township, welcome to the group. Ethan Barless in Ontario, Canada, welcome. Dean Coates in Missouri, welcome. Jerry Anderson in Tennessee. Chase Jackson in Illinois. Sandra Maldonado in Garden Grove, California. Joshua Rosenberg in Jacksonville, Florida. William Nichols in Sacramento, California. David Figueroa in Winchester, Virginia. Hey, I own some land not far from there. Where was I? William Nichols in Sacramento, welcome to the group. Brian in San Francisco, welcome to the group. Kane Hadley in Providence, welcome to the group. Eric, no last name, New York, welcome to the group. John, welcome to the group in Champlain. Michael Williams, welcome to the group. Shit, I'm not even gonna be able to read all these down. Sorry, if I do not read everybody, my bad. Let me refresh one more time here. Edgar, Miami, Florida, welcome to the group. Good news, you got 100% money back guarantee. I do that. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to race to your first customer. First customer is $2,800. Don't go lower, damn it. If you go lower, it's your own fault. Don't go low. I'd rather do free than lower. I'd rather say, I'll do a couple shorts and TikToks for you for free. Then you'd pay me $2,800. Do not lower it to $300 a month. It's a huge mistake. If you don't value yourself, other people are definitely going to take advantage of you. And you're going to end up with all these contracts. If you want to make $83,000 a month and you only charge $300, like a lot of people teach, let's do the math here. This is real painful. Okay, you want to make $83,000 a month, which is $1 million a year, divided by $300, you're going to have 276 customers, which is unrealistic. You're not going to have 276 customers, man. You're just not. How many TikToks and shorts should you do a month? So here's what I recommend. You don't need, the good news is you can repurpose content for their channels. So you can I would have different packages starting at $2,800 a month. I would do 3 a week. So 12 a month, 3 a week. And then I would have a higher package and by the way, you can do more. And I would take one piece of content and I put it on their Instagram Reels, their TikTok, Facebook Shorts. Don't forget, Facebook Shorts work too. Okay, and I would do and YouTube, of course. I really like YouTube Shorts. That's where that algorithm is popping the most. And if they're a doctor, I wouldn't make them do all the content. I would grab other doctors' content, just give them credit and post it there. There's a doctor that I follow, Dr. Pimple Popper. Have you followed this lady? She just posts like popping pimples. It's insane. She's got her own TV show. She's a multimillionaire. I mean, that lady's created so much wealth and following, and she doesn't even post only her own pimple pops. She posts other people pimple popping. It's insane. So that's what I'm saying. You can do that for other dermatologists. Other dermatologists, you can do that. All right. What other questions do we have here? I haven't even sent out an email to my whole list for this group. So do you have to be in the video? No, you shouldn't be in the videos at all. That's the good news. A lot of you are introverted. You don't have to be in the group. You do not have to be in these videos. I'll show you. You take the subject matter of your client. So you're going to form your company, okay? You're going to form your consulting company. You're going to take your consulting company and you're going to say, I am going to grow your following on social media to bring you customers. Focus with the end in mind. Bring them customers. I will go after cosmetic surgeons. I go after people. There's cosmetic surgeons in every big city in the world. I would be reaching out to people in London. If I lived in Omaha, Nebraska, I'd be reaching out to doctors in Miami, Toronto, Canada, South Africa. I'd be anybody who I speak their language. Anybody. I wouldn't go after like Brazil unless you speak Portuguese. You're going to have a language barrier. Okay, I would go everywhere. And the cool thing about this, wealth comes from scaling, and it's hard to scale if it's only local. So I would have local customers, but I would totally take it. Once I know what I'm doing, I'm going global. Let's just Google how many cosmetic surgeons do you think there are in the United States? Let's just Google this for a second. How many cosmetic surgeons? And by the way, you don't have to live. If you're watching this from Nigeria, you can get customers in the United States. How many cosmetics are in the USA? Let's just see if there's an estimate on Google. 11,946. How many of them do you think have a social media growth strategy? Not even 1%. I guarantee you not 1%. Guarantee you not 1% of them have a social media strategy. Oh, and this is the good news. Every one of them, they're smart. Every one of them's thought about it. But they all say, oh, I'm 45 years old. Do I want to manage my TikTok? Or, this one needs to be plugged in. They think, oh, I got to hire a social media manager. If they live in California, that's like $15,000 a month with all the benefits. It's expensive with all the taxes. Can you plug this one in? So you come in and you say, I'll do it for $2,800. I'm going to save you $7,000, $8,000. I'm going to do just as good a job. It's like, send them a contract and try to get them to pay you up front for the whole year, or at least for 6 months up front. So just give them a discount. If it's $2,800 a month, you can do the math on your phone. $2,800 a month, you can charge them for the whole year. Just give them a discount. That's $33,000. I'd give them a huge discount. I'd be like $20,000 if you pay me up front. $20,000. This guy, Ojedibo Frank, says, I'm in Nigeria, don't have a lot of money. This is why I like this. Somebody says, I was just tracking a cosmetic surgeon. That is their private jet. Yeah, I don't know if you want to do that. I don't know if to gain a customer, don't be like, yo, bro, I've been stalking you. Somebody did that to Elon Musk. They were like, I don't know if they were trying to charge him money or what, but it didn't work on Elon. I don't recommend. Don't do the stalker route. That's how some guys try to get women. It's like, this chick won't answer me. So I just like DM her daily, like, nah. And then they're like, I read a story where that worked. It doesn't work that often. That's a bad poker hand to play. Better is move on. Plenty of fish in the sea. Yeah, he asked for a Tesla, but Elon didn't give it to him, man. Okay, so tailopez.com/start. I'll read off a few names. I'm gonna go here soon. I'm in Europe right now, so it's Saturday night. Now, those of you who got in the program, go watch the first video. More videos kind of get released every day. Okay? It's a 4-month program. Some of you should get in the live workshop that we're doing in addition to the test group. So for some of you who like to learn in person, or not in person, but live. Vanessa Iturralde in Merced, California, welcome to the group. Terrence in Santo Domingo, Dominican. I was there not too long ago, welcome to the group. Anna Williams in Westchester, Pennsylvania, welcome to the group. Thomas DeLufo, welcome to the group. Trevor Burlinson, George Charalamblis in Redmond, Washington. Keith Justice in Port Falls, Idaho. Adam Morton in Colville, Great Britain. I was just in London. Iwani Masongo in Norman, Oklahoma. Welcome to the group. Okay, I haven't even put the link. Can you type it here on TikTok?
Yeah.
We need to comment. Yeah, I'll pin it when I see it. What's Tai selling now? I was gonna say something smart ass, but I won't. I'll hold back because TikTok banned me from doing live the other day. So I won't say what I was gonna say. What's Tai selling now? I like that people are like, I only follow people who don't sell stuff. Shit. Motherfucker, you follow Elon Musk, greatest fucking salesman on earth. What are you talking about? Follow people. I only follow crypto people. They don't sell anything. Yeah. Suckers born every minute. Sell or be sold, man. Y'all, I don't mind people selling me. I'm just looking for people selling good stuff. Oh, somebody was in the live where I got kicked off. It was funny. Show your garage. I'm not in California right now. I'm in Denmark. I'm in Denmark. Wait, did you comment on TikTok?
Yeah.
Where is it?
Okay, posting.
Let me see. People always trying to go live. I do not like TikTok, Instagram. It's funny. Every platform's doing something better than another person. Like TikTok's live comments suck. Google says you're worth 10 million. Is that true? You know I own networth.com. I just bought it. When people ask what my net worth is, I'm gonna say, bitch, I own networth.com. Let me see what it says about my net worth. I used to like it when it said 5 million. That's what I liked the best. Wealthy Gorilla says 10 million. This one says 60 million. eBiz Facts says 50 million. CA Knowledge says 70 million. Capitalism.com. What does this one say? My friend owns capitalism.com. 60 million. We could just average it together. Wealthy Genius says 15 million. This Million says 49 million. I like how they're all precise but different. Astro Growth says 70 million. eBiz Facts YouTube video says 60. A lot of them seem to say 60. Some of them say 10. I think Wealthy Gorilla put my net worth lower. I think I probably said something to piss somebody off. So they're like, fuck it, we ain't letting that guy be. People don't realize you don't want your net worth to be high online. Trust me. Guys, have your net worth the rest of your life say $5 million. Y'all are suckers if you think you know people's net worth. The only people on earth you know their net worth is if they own a publicly traded company. That's it. There's more bullshit to people saying their net worth than anything. You do not, just trust me on this, ladies and gentlemen. You want your net worth to say 5 million for the rest of your life. Because if anybody cares if your net worth is higher than 5 million, like dating and love life or friendship, you don't want them in your life. You don't want them in your life. Where's the Lamborghini? Believe it or not, it's not in my living room. People are like, where's the Lamborghini? Sometimes I worry about TikTok people's IQ. Tai, I don't seem to be able to see the Lamborghini in your kitchen. Do you not keep it there? Isn't that the place where Lamborghinis are kept? Why do you buy bankrupt domains? I mean, I don't buy, I bought bodybuilding.com. That's not bankrupt. It's a 9-figure business. Sometimes I buy companies through something called 363 sales. Like I bought Pier 1 for $31 million. And why do I do it? Because you pay less, motherfucker. Buy low, sell high. What color is my Bugatti? I once drove a Bugatti. I didn't want one. I have, if you go back on my Instagram in 2016, I drove a Bugatti. I didn't like it. It's a nonsense car. It's super fucking fast, but it's stupid. You can't use it anywhere. You can't drive it anywhere. You can't valet it anywhere. I had an Aventador Lamborghini that's $470,000 car. That's the most you want a car to be worth. I could take it there and I'm like, if it gets scratched, but do I want a $2 million car? Like, I just don't want a $2 million car. I drove them. They're also super impractical. The tires burn out really soon, and like the tires are like, I forget, some insane cost. So I had 2 Lambos, 2 Ferraris, 2 Rolls Royce, and a Maserati. Never get a Maserati. Those things break down a lot. I had a Maserati. It had so many. The first Maseratis were too tilted down, and they used to get flat tires. I got a flat tire once a week in the Hollywood Hills because there's a lot of potholes. It was a nightmare. And those tires are like $500. I don't even remember. $700. It was insane. Yeah. Somebody said, Tai, do you have millions of dollars in debt? You can leverage stuff up, man. Leverage. Limit to the master plan group. Yeah, I'm gonna close the group. I'll close it here. I just wanted to open it up. I haven't even told anybody. So tailopez.com/start. I'm gonna go soon. It's 8 o'clock. Starting to lose my voice. Any last questions? I think YouTube's gonna catch TikTok. It's gonna be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Hold on a second. Okay. What's your end game, Tai? Are you simply enjoying the process? A good question. I don't know. Once you purchase, is it available for immediate access? Yes. Yep. Interest rates are up. Yeah, but I didn't borrow money on variable stuff. That's more real estate people. That's more real estate people. YouTube's gonna catch TikTok. YouTube Shorts. Remember, Google has money, boy. And China has an existential problem with the United States. US government is gonna start throttling back the reach of TikTok if politicians have anything to do with it. So, what do you think people talk less about Larry and Sergey Brin, Google, founders? Because they're not loud, It's like people talk. Elon Musk is a great sales guy. He's gonna be talked about a lot. Last year, Bernard Arnault was wealthier, the French owner of Louis Vuitton. But hey, man, who would you rather be? Louis Vuitton guy got a good life. It's not always the one that's, it's not always the ones that are the most followers that you want to be. Whoever came out with TikTok has a high IQ. Well, they bought it, But the Chinese are smart. They got a couple, that thing's probably government run. Take on inflation. Inflation's high, stagflation probably coming. One of my advisors to my company, Retail E-Commerce Ventures, he won a Nobel Prize in economics. I was with him in London. He predicts like 2 years of stagnated growth. High energy prices cause a lot of problems. 1970s, you had 9 years of stagflation. You had high inflation. Interest CDs were paying 21% to keep up with inflation. It's problematic. That's the Jimmy Carter era, you know. Then Ronald Reagan came in and kind of broke the cycle. But it was 9 years of pain. So I'm not sure it'll be 9 years of pain, but yeah. Are you a recent owner of bodybuilding.com? Yeah. If you Google Tai Lopez bodybuilding, I bought it in July. So. Flipping books on Amazon. Are you flipping books on Amazon? Okay. Jimmy Carter's still alive and working crazy. Have I seen Black Adam? I have not. So questions about this system. So chasing $1 million income. How do you get to $1 million in revenue with your consulting agency? You're coming in, you're going after the right clientele, you're getting 30 customers paying you $2,800 minimum a month. $2,800, you're giving them a contract, try to get them to pay upfront for a year. You reach them by finding them on Instagram. I recommend you find a attractive friend, just like pharmaceutical companies, to DM them. Go after cosmetic surgeons, dentists, doctors, lawyers, people who one client is high value. You can start out by just doing their TikTok, YouTube shorts, and Instagram reels and Facebook shorts. Or Facebook Reels, sorry. And then over time, you can evolve and charge them more to do their email marketing and SMS marketing and take over their website. If they want to grow even further, you can add another service where you do their Facebook ads and you take a percentage of what you spend on Facebook. Okay? So those are kind of 3 levels. So you can have a $2,800 package, a $5,000 package, and a $10,000 package. Focus on 30 customers. You probably will have to have a couple assistants over time, but that's okay. It's money well spent. You can leverage out your time by having people help you. That's great leverage. You can leverage your money in life, right? You can do that through debt, or you can do that through equity. You can form your own fund. You can form an SPV. You can form a holding company. You lever people's money. You can do it in real estate. You can do seller finance. Sometimes when I buy companies, like I paid $31 million cash, myself and my investor group. I built an investor group starting in 2015 so that I can go out and do deals and do it in a way that's the risk is diversified among a whole group. Not one person has to take it. And I buy assets. That's more advanced. First, get to $1 million a year coming in revenue, and then you can do many other things. You can start buying assets, forming your own brands, and buying things through merger and acquisition, you know. You bought 131? I'm not sure what, you mean 363 sales, I think somebody meant. Ty, thanks very much. I took notes. Do you think it's easier for boomers than today's millennials? Hell no. If you're young now, you live in the best fucking time ever and you don't even know. Look, the human brain works off something called contrast bias. If you're born to a rich parents and everything's given to you, you can still be a depressed kid because you don't actually know what tough life is. The brain works off contrasts. So people are always stressed out, even if it's about nothing. People are like, oh, I met a kid once who was 16 years old in Beverly Hills. He was all freaking out because his dad wouldn't buy him a Ferrari, and all the other kids at Beverly Hill High School had a Ferrari, and his dad got him a BMW, and that was a big deal to him, you know? And as much as I want to laugh at him as a moron and a spoiled child, I also understand that's how the brain works. And so in terms of who's happier, if you look at hard science, everybody's richer, everybody lives longer, there's less communicable diseases, even with COVID. My grandma was born in 1918. She lived through real communicable disease that killed a tremendous amount of the population. Okay, Spanish influenza. She also got, the people got polio back then. So in general, every single generation has gotten objectively better off. Doesn't mean they feel better. In fact, look, I'm not a communist at all, but I read all types of books. Karl Marx, the kind of considered one of the founders of communism. He said that the problem with capitalism, it'll give people too much free time and they'll basically become spoiled brats. And on that, he was wrong about almost everything, but not about that one. So to the extent that people have free time now, they're always stressed about something. I meet people that are stressed. I'm like, you don't even know what fucking stress is. They're stressed about, just like that. I believe that humans, a lot of people, if you're high in anxiety, you're going to create an anxious event, even if one doesn't exist. It's just your way. It's a genetic thing. Some of these things like depression, melancholy, high neurosis, Hexaco score calls it high emotionality, things like anxiety are very much genetic. They're also environmental, and a lot of people, no matter how great their life is, they're gonna find some reason to be a nasty person. It's just fucking how the game goes, man. That's how the game goes. Tai, I have settlement money coming. Where do I put it? Be careful. Most people who get money given to them, lottery tickets, or people who didn't grow up with money, weren't trained with money, pro athletes, most of them are broke within a matter of, I think the average person who wins the lottery loses it all in sub 5 years. Same with the average pro football player, stuff like that. So it's, be very careful. If you're winning a settlement and about to get a lot of money, you need to be very careful. Tai, this is amazing. Best information. Tai, I'm 36 days sober. My wife will not stop. What do I do? Oh, you mean you're drinking or drugs can be, and your wife won't? Probably got to not be around that person. Life's tough, man. Temporary separate. If somebody's a drug addict, I got a brother. I have 6 brothers. One of them's a heroin addict. The environment is a big thing, man. Like no matter what, you got to get away from that environment. Even if it's your own wife or husband, it won't work. And it doesn't do you any good to be around them if you get trapped in the same thing that's trapped them. So I think that sucks, but it's how the game goes. You'll recover. Sometimes that's a wake-up call for the other person too. Sometimes that's a wake-up call for the other person, Okay, who's getting in the system? TaiLopez.com/start. Sorry if I didn't read everybody's names here. Let me read some more names. Edgar Correa in Lisbon, Portugal. David Torrance in Leesburg, Virginia. Leesburg, that's not far from one of my farms too. I own farms in different parts of the U.S. Grace Ratliff, San Francisco, welcome. Michelle Mays, welcome to the group. Demoke Vicentio, that's quite a name. Blackwood, did I say it right? Are you Romanian? Looks Romanian. Kimberly in Ottawa, California. Trevor Dunbar in San Francisco. Todd Serber in Eugene. Mohammed Shahabuddin in Gurgaon, Haryana, India. I've been to India once. Hyderabad, Madras. Nadia Tabari, Seattle. Mohammed, no location. Michael Carlsari in Chicago. Stan Dimitrov in Oshawa, Ontario. Eric Lozano in Dallas. Christian Cortez in Guelph, Ontario, Canada. Albert in Albuquerque. Nuri in North Hills. All right, I'm not going to get to read all these people. There's a lot of people. This is a name that's complicated. Oh, that's a different program, sorry. Okay. Now, those of you who get in the system, go watch the video, the first video that's in there. Make sure you leave a comment to unlock the next one. Make sure also that you consider coming to, make sure you book your call. I have an advanced mastermind that's in person. I'm going to be in Vegas in a couple of weeks, not next week, but the week after. So consider if you're really committed and you really want to go hard for the next 4 months, get customers, chase $1 million a year income. You may not hit it, most people won't, but chase it. Like I said, I'm chasing 500-pound bench press. Never gotten there. I've gotten about 350 on just a single rep, but let's call it 330. You know, I had a little bit of help. And I don't know if I'll ever hit 500, but you know what? I chase it. What you chase determines your life. And it doesn't matter if you actually hit it exactly. It doesn't matter if you exactly hit a million. But if you chase a 50 grand income, like you've capped the parameters, the mind is capped. It's funny how easily humans get capped. So to me, and also, I don't think you should have too ambitious of goals. So I meet people who are like, I want to make $1 billion a year. I'm like, why? Warren Buffett doesn't make $1 billion a year. Like that's not why is that a number for you? I just picked $1 million because I did a poll on all my social media, and that was the number that won on my Instagram. You can see my Twitter. Like I said, what's the goal you want to chase income wise? And I thought it would be like 350. It was $1 million. So I'm like, all right, let's reverse engineer what $1 million looks like. What does $1 million look like? I can tell you what $1 million look like. It looks like $83,000 a month, and it looks like 30 customers paying you $2,800 a month. You can try to get 83,000 people to pay you $1 a month. I think that's harder. You can try to get, 8,300 people paying you $10 a month. I think that's harder. Now, I built a business like Mentor Box where we had like 60,000 people paying $10 a month. I own bodybuilding.com. We have a huge app called BodyFit that is $10 a month and has over 100,000 people on it. So that's, somebody said, show your bank account. That's something I will never show. And some people will think, oh, because that person. Don't show your bank account. Be careful what you show in this damn world. Especially as some of you start to make money, be careful. Be careful. Don't even have your net worth at your maximum. Put your net worth at like $5 million. Try to keep it online at $5 million. $5 million to give you the respect you need. People will know you're smart, and it won't attract gold diggers, and it won't attract lawsuits and all that. Just you start putting that net worth up higher. All right, be careful. No good comes from it. Mark Zuckerberg was the youngest person with a net worth over $50 billion. He spends $30 million a year on security for him and his family. It's public record. Go look it up. Why do you want to do that? Why do you want to do that? You want that life where people are making, threats against your children when they're at school? You don't want that life. So some of you don't know what you should want and not want, and you're chasing stuff that's stupid. But chasing $1 million a year income, lots of people make $1 million, especially if it's your company's income. Doesn't mean your taxable income will be $1 million. You don't want your taxable to be $1 million. You want to have tax deductions. You want to have expenses. Okay. Hold on one second. That is true. Ty talks about $2,800 like it's peanuts. It's peanuts to your clients. There's lots of doctors right now, and dentists and cosmetic surgeons making $400,000 to $800,000 a year. If you come in, charge them $2,800 a month, and bring them one extra customer that they wouldn't have gotten because of your social media growth strategy, one. The average customer value is called LTV, lifetime value, or long-term value, some people say. But the LTV, lifetime value of a customer to a cosmetic surgeon or a lawyer, look at lawyers. You know why they have billboards everywhere? They have billboards on every freeway in the United States. I was just in Philadelphia. I got a jet and had to go to 7 cities in 3 days to close a big deal. I did a recent deal. You Google Tai Lopez Wall Street Journal, you'll see this deal. I put $32 million into a publicly traded company called Tuesday Morning with an SPV, myself and a group, and it's a NASDAQ company. But I had to go to 7 cities in 7 days, and I was in Philadelphia. You drive into Philadelphia, it's nothing but billboards of lawyers saying, hire, if this has happened to you, call me. That's so dumb. Those guys should be making social media posts. More people see TikTok and YouTube and Instagram than they see billboards. And it's easier on a billboard, you're driving, it's hard to call. On TikTok, YouTube, or Instagram, it can be a clickable link. and you start bringing them customers. If you get good at bringing lawyers customers, you will make money for the rest of your life, period. Let me repeat that. If you know how to bring customers, paying customers to law firms, you will have money for the rest of your life. You won't be the richest person in the world. You will never be broke unless you're an idiot and you spend it all on coke or something, like hookers and blow. But you will always have income pouring in because those people need customers. If you can help dentists bring in customers, cosmetic surgeon, and there's other businesses I haven't even gotten into. Restaurants you can do, although restaurant owners tend to be not as wealthy as doctors, okay? But there are some restaurant owners that'll gladly pay you. I'm opening a restaurant here in Europe. That's why I'm in Europe. Now I know how to do it myself, but I don't know if I'm gonna have time for my restaurant. If somebody was a badass, I would pay $2,800 a month. I'm paying $1 million just to retrofit the restaurant. It's like, I want people to be in it. I've got a Michelin star chef that came over from Geranium, 3 Michelin star. He was one of the, not the head chef of Geranium, but worked there. So, yeah. What do I think of Grant Cardone? Good guy. He was just on my live call. We're friends. I like Grant. Me and Grant have been buddies for many years. Let me join from Norway. Good. Get in there, Philip. TaiLopez.com/start. All right. I'm wrapping up. For those of you men who are bothered by my hair, I really feel bad for you. Life's tough, you know. The worst, somebody asked me if millennials have a hard life. I'm like, yeah, millennials had to watch my hair. I know it's tough. For those of you who never be weak-willed and thin-skinned, you know? You know why a lot of people don't make money? They're weak-willed and thin-skinned. So they're like, oh, but Tai, do I have to talk to somebody to acquire customers? What's the big fucking deal? The only thing you should be traumatized in life is living a shitty life. That should be your one main anxiety, your one main fear. What if I end up living a shitty life? And if you live a crappy life, you know, nobody can save you. But if people don't like you, some of your family's alienated, you don't hang out with some of the friends you used to hang out, but you get what you want out of life, health, wealth, life, love, happiness, you won. You won. You will not ever satisfy everybody. So make logical goals. Make sure they're multifaceted. Don't just make wealth your goal. I know plenty of wealthy people. I call it the exchange test. Most wealthy people that are wealthier than me, I wouldn't trade for their life, but a lot of them would trade for mine. Optimize for lifestyle. Optimize for lifestyle. So for me, it's like, if I can't go to the gym every day, like my life is, something is wrong. So I need to de-optimize that part that's keeping me from other important things. If I can't spend time every day with family, friends, romance, if you don't have that in your life, you're losing. But I will tell you, the reason I talk a lot about money is for most people, money is the missing ingredient that's keeping them too stressed out to do the other stuff. So money is the #1 cause of divorce. More even, it's funny, even in things you think the #1 cause of divorce is cheating. It's not the #1 cause of divorce. It's not. It's financial stress. Okay, Javoni Farr, welcome to the group in Mapleton. So go to TaiLopez.com/start. I will see some of you in there. You get instant access, and yeah. Somebody said, Tai, never have short hair again unless you go bald. My family doesn't really go bald. That's a genetic thing. So, Tai, people hate because you're cool. Nah, man, any person that has a lot of eyeballs on them is just gonna get a lot of flack. It's just how the game goes. Every president, whether it doesn't matter if it's Trump or Biden, they get a lot of freaking people coming for them. Doesn't matter if it's Obama, it's just all of them. Abraham Lincoln got shot. I mean, this is how the game goes. I'm reading the story of Muhammad Ali. I'm reading the story of Elvis. I just read an interesting book. Read a story, you know, JFK and his brother, RFK, Robert F. Kennedy. I own a business with the Schwarzenegger family, with Arnold Schwarzenegger's son, Patrick Schwarzenegger. I'm just an investor. I don't operate the business. But I remember when everybody hated on Arnold Schwarzenegger, now people love him. Like, the crowd is fickle, man. The masses are fickle. People that love you now will be the first to leave at the sign of stress. So I have a social circle that I know will stay with me through thick and thin, and that's where your happiness comes from, if that makes sense, you know? The masses are never your friend. And so when they love you, be careful of loving them back, because they don't really love you, you know? Be careful, because a lot of people, when they get a lot of followers or start to get traction or start to make money, and people, that's not as an illusion, man. Why is it 8 p.m.? Because I'm in a different time zone, man. I'm in Europe. Okay. TaiLopez.com/start. I'll see you all in the test group. I'm going to send an email out. So get in the test group before I close it, because it's going to fill up. I did this live call, gave you all access to it first. I haven't posted it to my social. How much water do I drink? I try to drink, when I'm in a hot climate like Puerto Rico, I try to drink 2 gallons because it's extra hot, you know. And when I'm in a colder place like Scandinavia, Sweden, and it's fall or winter, a little under a gallon. You can tell when your body, like, people forget about the sun making a big difference. They're like, oh, I'll drink a gallon. I'm like, it depends on your dehydration rate, man. Okay. I will talk to you all soon. Close end in here. I'll drop off. And goodbye, TikTok. Insights here. Okay. Goodbye, YouTube.